Hello, I'm Wally Haas. I'm Executive Director of Transform Rockford, and thank you for being with us here today. We have three wonderful guests. There are a lot of exciting things happening in Rockford, especially in Southwest Rockford. But before I go any further, I'd like our guests to introduce themselves. Start with Vic.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Vic Rivera, lifelong resident of the Southwest Rockford area, founding member of La Onda, not-for-profit, and South Main Mercado.
My name is Kat Valdez Doyle. I am a boomeranger to Rockford, so born and raised, super proud of that. Lived in a few different places and came back, and I'm really excited that this is my home in my hometown. Also founding member of La Onda and South Main Mercado.
My name is Chavez, and I'm born and raised in south side of Rockford. I'm also a founding member of La Onda, NFP, as well as South Main Mercado, and I'm currently a school board member for Subdistrict B.
Wonderful. Before we get into the meat of the program, I'd like to talk a little bit about a great event that just happened last weekend. That was Rockford Ironman 70.3. Vic, you were a volunteer. Give us your impressions of the event.
Yeah, so I was a volunteer at the downtown Rockford Public Library. We had a viewing from the terrace. I believe you and your wife attended, and young Kevin also.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was great energy. Everyone who came left with a smile on their face. And I'm just a big fan of that camaraderie, and just seeing people walking and swimming is very interesting to me. And I hope we get to see more of that.
It was a 3-year contract, so we'll see 2 more years at least. Patty, you were also a volunteer for the event?
Yes, I volunteered at one of the hotels to kind of like a welcoming party or welcoming committee. I was at the Marriott Courtyard. So as a Friday afternoon from 2 o'clock to 6, I was there basically welcoming any new any participants who were checking in and provide them information, give them emergency aid kits, provide them like where to go eat, like just, what's the great things about Rockford. So,
What was the furthest away somebody came that you saw?
California, Orange County was, yes. And then there was also someone from DC. But I did meet someone from Arkansas that they did interview. This was his 7th one, so it was pretty impressive, and just to hear his experiences.
And Kat, you were an interested spectator?
I was an interested spectator, but I was very interested. My career background includes professional sports events, and so I've been on the promoter side before, and with the Ironman as the governing body, I got to really use that part of my brain and kind of check out the operations and see what's going on. And it was just so clear that, the people were enjoying themselves. The fans were engaged, people from Rockford, my neighborhood was really, really into it because it ran through it. And so just every person seemed to be just having kind of the time of their life. Checking out Davis Park was super cool. I got really into it. I even got pickle lemonade. Did you guys have that?
No.
Yeah. Oh man, I treated it like a festival. I was very present as a spectator.
Wonderful. So a big shout out to Go Rockford for getting the event here and for pulling it off.
Yes.
First one in the state of Illinois, first Ironman in the state of Illinois. So that was a wonderful accomplishment. So all three of you mentioned La Onda. Okay. So who wants to kick off and tell us a little bit about what that is and why that is?
Kat.
Oh, okay. I was ready to pass it off. La Onda came to be as a result of some pretty awesome work that was being done in the community. So in 2023, the Ethnic Heritage Museum hosted the first South Main Mercado. This is related. And it was great and turned out to be so much more and accomplishing so much more. But one of the things we noticed was that Ethnic Heritage Museum has 6 ethnic galleries. And Hispanic is one of them, and South Main Mercado was one of those events of one of 6 galleries. And we were like, this is something that could be really big. We should find a different fiscal agent, find someone who can support it without taking resources from another really amazing and impressive nonprofit who has a mission to accomplish a little more. And so I started collecting ideas, thoughts, people, and we came together and officially organized in the state of Illinois and with the IRS. It's a 501c3 in April of 2024. So we just celebrated our first birthday. And this past year, we've really just been organizing and getting the nonprofit together and starting to engage in programming. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. Where does your funding come from?
Well, we've been fortunate to have a lot of partners like Go Rockford, for instance, Stroll on State, Rockford Ice Hogs, events like South Main Mercado and Frida Fest, obviously donations from people who believe in our mission, but have also experienced our events, have been very helpful. This whole year has really just been establishing that, but excuse me, in that year, we really have accomplished a lot, and it's only up from here.
Okay.
Grants, we also, like for Frida Fest, we receive a grant from the Rockford Arts Council for that. So that's something that we'll be working with in the future as well.
Continuing grants and sponsorship.
You've mentioned the South Main Mercado, you've mentioned Frida Fest, but we're going to wait on those for a little bit, okay? So recently, the Southwest Rockford was designated a cultural district, an arts cultural district. And what does that mean, and how did that come about, and what does it mean?
You want to take that one away? Or?
No, I think you know more.
Dang.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, go
I think, Catherine, you were involved a little bit more
Yeah,
in
I
those
was.
conversations. So I think you give a better answer.
Well, first of all, we, as La Onda, we were just really grateful to be engaged into the conversation. And so for the cultural district, it was the second time, I believe, and I know it wasn't the first time that the designation was applied for. In the first round, I think Rockford did apply for it also. And the region was identified of Southwest Rockford, especially how it was framed out, is because that is the modern heart of our city. As many of us know, it's, Founders Landing is down there, Tinker Swiss Ethnic Heritage Museum and Heritage Museum Park, Graham Genestra House. Like this is the gateway for many people into the city. And there's a lot of really amazing stuff happening that has been happening, is continuing to happen, and the momentum is definitely behind the region. But, for us, I think La Onda was brought in because of our engagement as individuals and as an organization in the South Main Mercado, which I think I can just speak from assuming why South Main Mercado was brought in is because the timing, we as a group identified this idea and then moved forward with all of our different skills, and it started to really highlight kind of what I always say, what has always been true is the Southwest side just has so much culture, not just Latino. Every group as they enter into Rockford has kind of started through the south side of Rockford, so it's really cool. So I think that's why we were brought in. I think there's just so much more to say about what's to come, though, too, that I don't know too much about.
Okay. So what is it actually, so being designated a cultural district, does that help you apply for grants? What does it mean for you realistically to moving forward?
I believe there is funding, but it does have to get divvied up between the rest of the designated cultural districts. But yes, it'll be funding for events and programs in the area.
Yeah. Again, I think everyone. So the city of Rockford is the one who applied for it and is executing it. And I think they're still, as far as I know, they're still organizing and bringing not just La Onda, but so many different organizations to the table, and for brainstorming sessions and to figure out what it should look like, what that funding disbursement can look like. I think also it's available for capital improvement projects in the area. Again, it's shared, so we don't know what that looks like, and it's dispersed over many years. But I think it's really important. It's not a historical designation. I do know that distinction for the area, but I think it's first and foremost just something that is framing and identifying this region as key and central in the state of Illinois.
Okay. Who are some of your partners in this endeavor?
SWIFT, Southwest Ideas for Today and Tomorrow, CCS, Comprehensive Community Solutions, EHM, Ethnic Heritage Museum, and La Onda currently. It's the four.
Yeah, those were definitely four partners who were brought into the cultural district conversation. But I mean, there were so many more. Like I was at a table at R1, the city of Rockford, of course, the Rockford Area Arts Council were part of the initial application and then continued in this application as well. And so, we're just some folks at the table and excited to be there, but grateful for the city's leadership on it for sure.
Oh, wonderful. So you've talked about the South Main Mercado a few times here. Tell me a little bit about that. I wasn't able to attend last year, so tell me how did it go and what's in the future?
Have you were you able to attend any of the last three?
No.
Okay.
Shit.
Because the growth you would have seen right off the bat. But, South Main Mercado happened just with multiple things happening at the same time. I was actually volunteering at the Ethnic Heritage Museum with Jocelyn McLaughlin. who's the director, and Monica Terrones. After COVID, before COVID, they built this really nice gazebo. Then COVID happened, and they weren't able to ever utilize it. After COVID, they built this really nice pathway, and there was just all this great things coming to the campus. So we were just tossing ideas on how to utilize it, how to bring people. And so just through different conversations, we talked about doing like for the lack of a better term, like a city market, but on the south side of town. And we wanted it to be very Hispanic, very Latino centric. So just a lot of conversation like that. And then, Pati came into the fray, Kat came into the fray. Everyone brought their skill set, and we had a very modest market, which attracted about 500 people, a few vendors, up to the week of, we didn't even have food trucks. The idea was so foreign to people. Like, what is this? I think as soon as people came, they realized what our vision was and what we were trying to do. Just hustle and bustle camaraderie, people buying stuff, talking, music in the background, and it was free. Just a great experience for families to come out, and also to explore a neighborhood, which has been many times underappreciated, underutilized. So that was really the genesis of it. Flash forward to a year later, we went from about 500 people to 5,000 people.
Wow.
So the growth on that was very organic, but very crazy. Were we prepared for it? Not so much, but just like the Ironman, how we were speaking about earlier, we learned from that first experience what we can improve on, where our weaknesses were, where our strengths were. Fast forward to a few weeks ago, it was about the same turnout, about 5,000 people. People stayed longer. More families came. We had way more food. We had way more vendors. We had about the same amount of entertainment. But, people left so excited, so happy, so fulfilled. And now, what's next? That's where we're at right now. We've already kind of been meeting on that and talking about that topic.
Well, it takes a lot of work to put an event like that together. How many volunteers do you get to get out there to help you with this?
The volunteers are everything. What's the exact number?
Well, we are volunteers.
Yeah,
Yes, important to note.
We
Yes.
are volunteers.
but day of volunteers, we have about 60. Is last year and this year, I want to say it was about the same. But as for us, we have kind of a key committee that comes together on Sunday mornings. It's the only time we can all get together. And it depends on kind of like how we're distributing responsibilities, but there's anywhere between like 8 and 12 of us, just depending on what we're working on. Again, all volunteers on a Sunday morning. Just like having a conversation and getting things done. Oh my gosh, yeah, like we're chatty too, so we have to be like, stay focused.
Because we're all so excited. We all have these great ideas, and it's been awesome to see so many of them come to life. I mean, who would have ever thought? And like I mentioned earlier, I've lived in that neighborhood my whole life. The last time the street had been shut down was for maybe Cinco de Mayo in like 2001 or 2002. I have the footage. But in 20 years, the street hadn't shut down. So when the idea was presented by Antonio Ramirez, I believe, Kat, I mean, she, with her knowledge and her background, she was able to make that happen, or she had the foresight. Well, you did. How do you shut the street down? It's insane, right? It's insane to us that live here in Rockford, who don't travel much. When you go to these bigger cities like Chicago and Madison, Milwaukee, it's very common to see streets closed. It's people adjust to traffic patterns. Here, as we mentioned, it's very foreign, but events like South Main Mercado and the Ironman are gonna contribute to that culture that we can shut cities, or we can shut streets down. We can create these big events. Is it inconvenience for days? Sure, but look at the outcome that we've gotten. We've been able to generate. We've been able to gather 5,000 happy people for a day. To spend their money locally, to invest in local businesses, local food trucks, listen to local music, support one of Rockford's oldest neighborhoods. I mean, it's crazy to see that actually has happened. And it was because of some of us here and our partners, crazy ideas, crazy work schedule makes these crazy things happen.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, no. One thing about that also is part of South Main Mercado, another idea that was included with the idea was that we wanted to offer an opportunity for Latino entrepreneurs to have the have the ability to participate in a market area and to be able to, whether it's their first time or second time vending, but have that affordable opportunity to do so, and then and then grow from there. So that has been very helpful. We always got some new vendors each year of people who just like started at home or began an idea, and this is their first. They've been selling online, on social media, but now this is the first time they're going to be in a market setting and have like a wider audience. And then from the first year to this year, the second year was, since it grew, I knew like a lot of the vendors wanted some more information and more guidance. So that's what we provided this year, was in regards to like small business informationals or workshops on how to, whether it be a food vendor, regular vendor, and how to establish their business or how to grow their business. And we're continuing that as well this coming year with partnership with the Rock Valley Credit Union as well, to offer small businesses more support, but particularly Latino businesses and entrepreneurs.
Now, are most of the businesses local, or do you get people throughout the region?
We get, most of the vendors are local, but we did have some, like last year we had some from Milwaukee, I believe.
Yep.
This year we had someone from Quad Cities, surrounding areas, I think. And then we had someone from Indiana last year, I believe.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
They came out. Yes, they had family here, and it just happened to be the same weekend. So they just went ahead and took advantage and participated. Yeah.
Oh, so it's not just a Rockford draw. It's actually
It's definitely
Northern Illinois.
yes,
Yes.
and that's our next goal. How can we make this grow and attract people from other cities and other states? Obviously, we've been successful in Rockford, and we're grateful for our community here and the support that we've gotten. But we want this to grow, not just for us, but also for the vendors and for the food vendors, expand their clientele, get people as far as, past Beloit, past Elgin, and see how far we can get this. And I truly believe that we can do that. We're ahead of that in that direction.
Yeah. I know last year Pilsen's Association in Chicago, and I think they mentioned us. Or
We were sharing our
they
stuff.
were sharing
which
our
was
stuff, and even this year as
big
well,
fan. Yeah.
they did. So we're trying to get out there and offer greater opportunities for the small business that work with us, but also as well to share this great thing that's happening in Rockford.
Right. Now, this entrepreneurship program, helping people to become entrepreneurs, you had mentioned that partnership with Rock Valley Credit Union. Anything more to say about that?
With that, actually, we are working with Ana Montoya. She's the VP of Marketing for Rockford Credit Union, Rock Valley Credit Union. Those acronyms always get me. And so basically offering some 5 workshops, which are going to be focused on for small business, whether it's, business planning, credit, talking about fraud, talking about also as well as marketing. So different workshops and informationals that would help them, and also provide them the financial literacy that they need. And then at the end of that, they're going to offer a drawing for $1,000 that the individual can use towards their small business.
It will actually be 3
Yes.
$1,000 incentives. Yeah. So get you right started with the right information and a little money to get you forward.
Yeah, well, even with starting vendors, I mean that's a big help. That's a big help that they can apply to their business as they see fit.
Oh, wonderful. So who are some of the musicians that performed?
We had a great local lineup. This year, I wanted to switch it up a little bit and add. So, when it comes to Latino music, it comes in all shapes and sizes. There's the traditional stuff, there's the polka stuff, there's the banda stuff, there's the rhythm stuff, but there's also rock in Spanish. And there is a community for that in Rockford, but they don't come out because there's not a platform. So I was grateful to have 2 rock bands from Rockford, Los Dragones and Fish It and the Bones, who mainly play English, but they really surprised me with their Spanish variety of music. We had a younger group called Estilo Imperial, who they're just a bunch of kids. They're probably all younger than 18, who had approached me and they said, hey, we just want to perform. And then we had someone who was actually an opener last year closed, El RP. And all these are individuals who are just looking for a platform, and that's one of our core values is to have a platform for everybody, whether it's your first gig or you've been, playing for a while, but you have a different style that's not as popular. That's the platform we want to be. We want you to be a part of this festival because your art matters to us, and it should be shared with the community. And a lot of people, English speaking and non-English speaking, were very impressed by the rock music. And it's like, it goes to show you that it doesn't matter what language it is. It's rock. And I mean, so many people were grateful for that. So we had just a great lineup of musicians, and we also featured a DJ stage. House Brotherhood came, and on the south of our footprint, we had music, and people were down there dancing and having a good time also.
Wonderful. So, so when's the next event?
Sunday, June 14th, 2026.
Is the next South
South
Main
Main
South
Mercado.
Mercado, do you mean?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry. South Main Mercado. Well, if everyone can know, they can
Yes.
see the date
And,
now.
and it won't be the same day as Ironman.
No,
it'll be
no, same day.
it'll be the
No.
week before.
Second Sunday of the month or of
Yes.
June. That's our pattern.
June
So.
14th.
But our next event of 2025.
It's going to be Frida Fest.
Okay. Yes, that's where I want. Great transition. I love it. I love it. I wanted to talk about Frida Fest. And first of all, who is Frida Kahlo? Tell me who she is.
Frida. You can tell I'm a girl. I'm a fan. Girl fan. I'm a fangirl. Frida Kahlo is actually a Mexican artist. She was born in 1906 in Culiacan, Mexico. And she was the daughter of an indigenous woman and also a German immigrant to Mexico. So she, throughout her life, suffered a lot. She had an accident when she was a teenager while she was studying to be a doctor. She was in a train accident. She was impaled, and from there, kind of her suffering came in regards to her health. But then also during the journey of her life, during her suffering of her health, and also as she married Diego Rivera, which is a very known Mexican muralist, she grew as an artist. And during her time that she was bedridden and her tumultuous marriage with Diego, she was able to express all that she was feeling and what she was experiencing through her paintings. She has become now a Mexican icon. She's known for, and a lot of people don't, the reason why for Frida Fest was because a lot of individuals don't know her beyond her unibrow, which is great, right? Unibrow and flowers. But we definitely wanted to, definitely focus on who she was as an individual, talk more about her experiences in life and suffering. Although that's sounds very great. But she was a modern chica, as they say, a modern woman during that time in Mexico, during the 1930s to the 50s, that she developed into a woman, an individual. So she kind of was a forefront runner, and she was like a blazing. How do you call it?
A trailblazer.
A trailblazer. There you go. A trailblazer in Mexican feminism as well as art, surrealism art.
So was this one of the ideas that came out of one of your Sunday morning conversations? How did this come about?
This came about because last year I wanted to do it as well, or 2 years ago, but things happened, so it wasn't even possible. So this year, when we had La Onda, and one thing I mentioned last year was like, I want to do a Frida Fest. I want I want to celebrate her, and I want to, because part of La Onda is, yes, we're celebrating, we're highlighting Latino culture, but not only for our own community, for Latino community, but also for the Rockford area community as well. It's surprising so much that individuals don't know about this Mexican icon besides just her unibrow. So,
or what Frida Kahlo has done to contribute to the way we live our life now, and kind of like some perceptions that we have, good, bad, or whatever, like, it's not just like, oh, here's more information about her. It's like, and this is how it impacts your life every day. So I love it. It's super great. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. No, that's fine. Go ahead and jump in.
Well, it looks like it's a month-long celebration. You've got stuff going on almost the entire month of July.
And that's the best part about this, is the collaboration that Patty's been able to conjure up. It's not just at one place with one entity. It's a variety of Rockford staples, if I'm not mistaken. Like the Rockford Public Library, the Nicholson Conservatory, correct? The Rockford Art Museum,
yes.
And of course EHM, Ethnic Heritage Museum. So there's a slew of Rockford staples here. So it's one of those things where, again, everyone wins. Everyone's getting something. Everyone's getting some notoriety, and we're able to collaborate and share this event, but also share these great spaces that exist in Rockford.
Mm-hmm.
So many people don't go to the Rockford Art Museum. So many people don't go to the Ethnic Heritage Museum. I mean, these are great resources to us, and they're free. They're free to overall. They're free to use. They're free to attend and be a part of. So the collaboration that Pati's been able to do is incredible.
A lot of people didn't know that our museum has a theater inside. A lot of people don't in Rockford did not know that, and I knew it because 20-something years ago, I saw a Frida documentary at that theater, and that's why I knew they had a theater. And they are starting to put it more into use. I know they've had other showings as well of other movies or documentaries. So when I reached out to Leslie Crow from the Art Museum, and I'm like, I'd like to have this idea, and they thought it was great. And so, yes, we're starting an organization, just foundations and everything. But I think one thing that we all value, I think, in our team, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that we love collaborating. We love highlighting what's great in Rockford. How can we work together, building relationships? Because that's what community is, and that's how community grows. We even, like he mentioned, the Art Museum. We're also, May's Books is actually going to host the book club that we have called Frida Kahlo of her time in Paris when she was there after she divorced Diego. So they're going to be having a book club there. We'll be having embroidery classes, talking about what is the significance of embroidery in her art, and also in her art, her dressing, her personal style, and then also giving those classes for embroidery. We have the screening of Frida at the Art Museum, the 2012 movie with Salma Hayek, and then we're also going to have a paint and sip as well. We're also collaborating with Julux Beauty, and they're going to offer their space for us to have that. So that'll be something fun, kind of girls' night or guys' night. You want to come out and paint and sip a bit. And then we're ending it with a fundraiser where we're having actually at Women's Space, again, another great organization that was actually our in-kind sponsor. And
shout out to Nicole Landreth.
Yes, Nicole's amazing. Yes, Nicole's amazing. So using that space, and we're having a professor out from NIU to come out to talk about, give a historical talk or presentation about Frida and her being una chica moderna, a modern woman at that time, and what social and economical and cultural factors influenced her as an individual, and also just, as she said, her impact on on us as well as not only Mexicans, but also Latinos in this country as well.
So things kick off July 6th?
July 6th is the kickoff. I call it Frida Fest because it's the whole month. But the kickoff is July 6th from 12 to 5 at Ethnic Heritage Museum. There will be a Frida Kahlo lookalike contest. We're actually also we collaborated with Cleta's Stay and Sew, and her kids that she has in that program are actually going to have a fashion runway show. So they're making different clothing out of Frida Kahlo fabric, and they'll do like a little runway show. And we'll be having music from that time period. We're having Emilio Salinas, a local artist, come out and do some live music as well. You're DJing, I believe, as well. And we're having all adult and kids craft and art projects as well.
So where can people go to find all the information to know when the events are and when to go show up?
Well, we have our website, which is somoslaonda.org, and also on social media, on Instagram, as well as on Facebook under La Onda. And right there, they have also, we have event pages. But so.
That's Somos, SOMOS, La Onda, LAONDA.org. It means we are La Onda.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah. And La Onda, I don't know if we talked about the meaning of it, but La Onda means wave. And I think, Vic, did you suggest it?
It was Vic's
It was
idea.
one of my,
Yeah, Vic
He gave us a slew of names.
And I really identified with it because La Onda actually was, what I identified with it was, yes, it means a movement. It was La Onda was called, or Onda was considered a movement for the Chicano movement during the 1970s. So it's kind of something, again, like standing up and being seen and recognized and celebrating who we are. So that's why I identified with the name and said, yes, we have to pick La Onda, definitely.
Wonderful. So what else is going on that the general audience should be aware of? I mean, you guys are doing some great work here, and we need to get it out there. So what else is going on that we haven't touched on yet?
Well, to answer your earlier question, I don't know how you phrase it, but we got 1,000 ideas going per minute. It's picking which one just makes sense, and time-wise, Pati did have the idea a year ago, but we were just we're so fresh out South Main Mercado, just the timing didn't make sense to try to plan something in less than a month. We are talking some fall programming, winter programming. We want to start organizing for South Main Mercado earlier with fundraising, but also just keeping that camaraderie and that community aspect alive throughout the year. Not the biggest problem, but one of the problems is once it's done, it's like, okay, now we got to wait a whole year for it to come around. So we definitely are planning on doing some stuff intermittently to keep the community engaged and excited still. Nothing official yet, but we are definitely working on it.
I don't know. I want to just say something that Vic says constantly, but on this platform and a little louder is like, what isn't going on? Rockford's in a renaissance era right now. Like it's cool. I mean, just to go back to Ironman as an example, because it was amazing that it happened, but also, like there was so much walking before we could run, no pun intended about the race, but like there, whether it was Go Rockford or whatever, like the community, we're just growing and we're growing together if we're willing to. And there's just like really exciting things happening, things that happen in my lifetime. I didn't really see a lot in Rockford. Like watching people swim in the river was a spectacle to me. I was like mouth open, staring, taking pictures, so excited, and had questions, but also very excited. But I think it's time, for people to start seeing what's going on and how they can be a part of it. And it's something I've seen a lot lately is more people having thoughts and ideas and realizing that they can become reality and they can become something. And so I don't know. I want to make sure to say that as much and as frequently and as loudly as I can. Like there's so much happening, and I think Rockford has really great momentum, and bringing people in from the outside, bringing people in from different parts of the city to new parts of the city, and just making sure that everyone has a really good time and feels that Rockford is a place for them too.
At the end of the day, us three are very normal people. I mean, as far as, we families, jobs.
Speak for yourself, I don't know.
Yeah. These are like two of the most intelligent people I know, and I get to hang out with them all the time. And I'm really grateful because my skill set can only go so far. So it's because of collaborating with people like them that I'm able to soar. But really the point is that I'm trying to say is that we're not anything like special as far as we come from, finance, right, family, or things like that. We're normal. We go to work. We have families, kids. We do this because we love it. But it's also important to mention that we're volunteers. And if we can make something happen collaboratively, then anyone watching this, listening to it, could do it too. Write that crazy idea down. Figure it out. You ask questions. Ask me, ask her. If you ask me, I'll probably say ask her. But, well, there's so many opportunities that people don't take advantage of, or maybe don't want to, or maybe just don't know. But, there's stuff that we don't know and we lean on each other. But that doesn't mean that you listening or watching can't do these things. It's possible, because we didn't think that we were able to go from this modest event from 500 people to 5,000 people. We didn't think we were going to able to just have a parking lot full, let alone, 3 or 4 blocks of the city. These things are possible with work, collaboration, communication, transparency, and just being a little crazy.
Or even like the fact that we won the Revitalization Award last year from Lieutenant Governor
Juliana Stratton.
Stratton. We won the Illinois Revitalization.
Yeah, through the Illinois Main Streets program.
Wordy.
Yeah,
go ahead.
the 2024 Lieutenant Governor Revitalization Award for a Promotion Approach. We were one of the winners of that one, and yeah, it was because Mercado started as a very cultural minded event, and then instantly, I mean, maybe even before the event, if I remember correctly, the community and neighborhood wanted to be in it. They wanted to have the conversation too and talk about kind of the community organizing side of it, and things like revitalizing a neighborhood commercial zone, and what does that look like, and how does the neighborhood get to be a part of that? So, I mean, it's, you start with an idea and it explodes, and, and we were wrong a lot, a lot. We were wrong a lot. We were confused a lot. We had to ask people things. And it's just, there's so much going on, and anyone can do it.
And one thing that Vic had mentioned before in previous conversations, it's, you have to, anything is possible, right, as we said, right? But more than anything, I think I feel very blessed is you have to surround yourself with the right people. You know, people who are going to support you, who are going to say, yeah, with your crazy idea, go for it. How can I help? You know, and like he said, we all use our different skills and abilities to support each other. We're just not as cool as Vic is, of course.
Don't let it slip by that we also need Vic. Like, you have strengths that I could never have,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, definitely. So we know that, yeah. Don't let him tell you no. But more than anything, is supporting yourself with the right people and surrounding yourself, because that's gonna. The one thing about it is we're not naysayers. You know, it's always like, okay, how can we make that happen? You know, is that possible, and what do we need to do?
Or I don't have the bandwidth for that right now.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so if anybody watching this wants to get involved with you, what should they use as contact information?
Well, we're always looking for volunteers, of course, because we're all volunteers. Either just being part of La Onda or just in any of our events. There's different ways they can, of course, go through our website, which again is somoslaonda.org, SOMOSLAOND.org. There is a volunteer link there they can complete, and we will reach out to them. Again, they can always reach out to us on social media, Facebook and Instagram as well, and express any interest they have in either vending for the event or volunteering in that event or any future event that we have.
Or, I mean, even for the day of, volunteers are great,
Yeah.
but like, I mean, if people want to join that planning process, we are growing, and we've kind of figured out a way to really spread the wealth and bring on hopefully as many people as want to be involved and engaged in that planning process. So same way to reach out to us. Or again, any of the other 3 organizations that we partner with for specifically South Main Mercado. So that's us, Ethnic Heritage Museum on South Main, and then Comprehensive Community Solutions on South Main, the big blue building, and Swift also on South Main. So if you know somebody there, also reach out to them, and it'll find the organizations.
And we're very interested in your skill sets.
Yes.
So like our 4th member of La Onda, Javier Roman, he had come back from school, hadn't been in Rockford in a while, didn't know where to start, what to do, and he has all these amazing skills that he learned from studying university. So a lot of people have approached us who've come back to Rockford who have been gone for 4 or 5 years studying, and now they have these skills that they don't know how to utilize them. We'll utilize them for you.
Yes.
Yeah, and then after that, you can go on about your way. But we are very much that platform that wants to help those young, intelligent people that come back to Rockford use those skills in a great way and grow their own platforms, their own skill sets or whatever like that. So we are looking for all kinds of skills, and we have a job for everybody.
Yes.
That's a real good thing that I also really love, is that we have a lot of youth either stepping up or B, they're coming back to Rockford and wanting to participate. They've seen what they've seen, at school or just working wherever they were at, different city, and bring back and be like, oh, that's cool. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Like even the flyer for the promotional items for La Frida Fest. I mean, that was done by someone who's moving back to Rockford that was originally from here. She's moving from Madison. Her name is Alondra La Verriega. She was like, I can do this and I'm willing to do it for free or volunteer. I want to get involved. I want to do more for my city and more for our culture. So yeah, she offered herself, and we're definitely embracing that because we all have something to give.
Yeah.
We all do.
Wonderful, wonderful. Hey, thank you very much. You've been great guests here today. And if you want to get involved with these folks, they're wonderful folks to get involved with. So check out the
La Onda.
La Onda
La Onda.
website and get involved if you can. Hey, thank you very much. Keep up
Thank
the good
you.
Thanks
work.
for having us.
No,
Appreciate
And
it
that's
very
it
much.
for this episode of Rockford on the Record. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.